good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world or whatever time you'll be watching this video. Well, guys, this is my commute to work this morning. I may be shouting in the video because it's loud up in here. This is at 8:57 in the morning. And look at this rain. Oh my gosh. Woo, lightning. Guys, times like this, when we're living in Jamaica, who going to work in this kind of weather in Jamaica? As soon, woo, mercy. As soon as you see this kind of weather, thunder, got a moving rocking chair and him a take picture. Oh gosh. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. Who don't want to go back in them bed now? Why, trust me, I don't know if I was still at home, Gone back in my bed, Do you guys agree with me? Yes or no? Yes or no? Wow. This is... And look at the traffic, guys. Look at the traffic. Oh my word. Well, I've got a 3/4 tank of gas, so if it's gonna take a while for me to get to work. How is the weather in your neck of the woods? Well, this is spring is coming in, and you see, guys, I don't know if you see, like some of these trees, if you notice them now, no leaves, no buds, no nothing, just the twigs, right? Because we're just coming out of winter. And you see all this rain, look, by the weekend you'll see lots of buds coming out. The grass is gonna get green, because right now the grass is brown and look dead, right? By the weekend, honestly, you'll see lush green. I don't know, North America, or let me just say Canada, it's weird. It's just, to me, it's just like everything is so much of the stuff here, I think, is just engineered, because 1 minute everything is brown and then rain falls, and then the next day it's all green. It's not like in Jamaica. I mean, I guess it's two different climates, right? In Jamaica, you have everything green all the time, unless, something, some of the foliage is dead or whatever. But here, they go to sleep in the winter, and a couple days of rain or a couple bouts of rain, and then everything gets nice and bright and green again. Oh, there's a cop car. I wonder if there's an accident. It's one thing, guys, here with a highway. If there's something happen here, you can't just make a U-turn, because the barriers are there. You can't just easily make a U-turn or anything like that. So you have to go a ways to exit one side to get back to the other side. That's my only, something, I guess. Well, I guess, you can't have openings on the highway, because people will know that you're not supposed to, use those emergency openings, and people will use them, and then they will cause more accidents on the road. But yep. So I haven't really done much of videos in a little bit, because I've been a little bit busy, but I'm gonna start getting back to doing videos, guys. But I just wanted to ask you guys, there's a topic that I was listening to on a YouTube channel last night where I was listening to Auntie Donna, and I guess the question was like there was one lady who was having an issue with her spouse and his ex. So apparently, she was complaining that her spouse and his ex seemed to be too close. Now she's been with this person for 2 years, and the guy and his ex rather, the ex calls him all the time, anytime she wants. Apparently she went to the market, and she's messaging him with pictures of produce and stuff to say this is cheap, and that kind of communication. And this was apparently like early in the morning, and the lady was saying, you and I are here early in the morning, why is she texting you all of these so early in the morning? And he's getting upset at her because of, I guess there is a twinge of jealousy there, and he's telling her that the ex is his best friend, and if he can't have friends anymore, that kind of thing. But I think for him to get so testy, it means that maybe they're not fully ex as he would like her to think, right? That is my opinion. I mean, personally, I am very, very close friends with one of my exes, right? And we met over 30 years ago. We haven't been together for over 30 years, but we are close. There is a time when we didn't have any communication because at one point he had a girlfriend, and she found out that he and I used to date, and I guess she banned him from communicating with me. But honestly, guys, ever since he and I broke up, I broke up with him, and that was it. We never reconnected, although when I broke up with him, initially he didn't think I was serious. But I'm like, no, this is the end, because sometimes you can see the writings on the wall, right, ladies? And we don't sit and take any form of disrespect. We don't allow men to come and disrespect us. We need to have our self-respect, right? So if you're in a situation and you notice that you are being disrespected or you will be disrespected, you exit from that situation. And that is what I did. I saw the disrespect coming, so I took myself out of that equation. So, I mean, he didn't really believe that I really broke up with him. And, I guess, Jamaican men sometimes, and their egos, and sometimes when they think that because they have money, nobody's supposed to leave them. But at that time, he had his head on his body, didn't have a frail ego like some of these men these days. Because I think if I had broken up, if it was one of these, frail-minded men these days, I probably would not have been here, because no man wants to be left, especially when they are in their head because they have money and they are of substance. They're supposed to be the ones doing the leaving, not the other way around. But then anyways, he and I, after a while, we reconnected, socially, and we've been friends. We talk all the time, but he's now married, although he's going through another divorce. But I wouldn't do to another woman what I wouldn't want done to me, right? So even though he and I are very good friends, he tells me stuff that he doesn't tell his wife. I know stuff that's about to happen in their relationship that she has no idea of, right? So that's how close we are. But I still respect his relationship in the sense that I don't call him early morning or late night. I wouldn't call him like after 8 at night, right? So I would only call him during the days, because I wouldn't want me being at home with my husband and I'm seeing an ex of his calling him them hours of the night and him sit down on phone talking to her, that kind of thing. So because I wouldn't want that to happen to me, I don't do that to her or his relationship. Even though we're platonic friends, but guys, us women, what you don't want happen to you, don't do it to someone else. No matter how innocent the relationship is, no matter how much you think you and that person is a friend. The only way I think you should be calling an ex outside of reasonable sociable hours, and for me that is between say 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. That is sociable hours to be calling someone. It's only if it's in the case of emergency. And if you guys have no kids, because he and I don't have any kids together, so if you don't have any kids together, there should be no other form of emergency where you would need to call the person outside of those hours. If it's just regular social chit chat, you can do it within normal hours. So yes, I think in that case, that is an Auntie program, there is a possibility that something in something. They're not fully ex as they would like people. In my opinion, they're not fully ex as they would like people to think. Right? There is some sort of currency going on in that relationship. And ladies, trust me, we have a sixth sense and we know when things are happening. But a lot of us like to turn our heads and make up excuses, trying to say, okay, no, nothing is happening. We know, we have a sixth sense, right? And we need to follow our sixth sense most of the time, because our sixth sense is hardly ever wrong. And don't allow men to disrespect you. We need to keep our self-respect, our dignity intact, and not let men run roughshod over us. I think a lot of us, we allow ourselves to be treated by men in certain ways, right? Because if we put a stop to certain behaviors, then trust me, it won't happen. If you accept the men to keep, he cheat on you once, and he comes and with sob story and says he's sorry, and you take him back, that is your prerogative, right? And sometimes people deserve a second chance. It all depends. But then if he cheats on you a second time, and then he's gonna come and say sorry again, and you're gonna take him back, then I believe that whatever has happened to you, then that is on you, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? So don't sit down and well, it goes both ways, men and women. Don't sit down and allow people to treat you all sorts of ways and you sit down and take it. If a person shows you that they no longer want to be in the relationship, let them go. Because at that point in time, if you're with somebody, and this is my opinion, if you're with somebody and they cheat on you, you are the only person that's left in that relationship. That is a one-sided relationship, right? Because if that person said that they love you, love is not supposed to hurt. Yeah, people are in relationships and teeth and tongue must meet. You must have disagreements, you must argue from time to time. But to the level of cheating, if you love each other, there shouldn't be any hurt in the relationship. And once one person goes outside of that relationship, my opinion, that relationship is already done. So you need to make an exit, because if you decide to stay, you're the only one who is in love with the other party, because they have already checked out of that bad boy. Anyways, let me know in the comment section, guys, if you agree with me. Again, that is my opinion. I don't stand for disrespect in no relationship. You're going to disrespect me, you only get to disrespect me once. I am out of there. Yeah, that's just me. And guys, this is from in my 20s, guys, after a big heartbreak, I'm like, you know what? This will never happen to me again. Because after the heartbreak, they move on with their lives. They're all happy, hunky-dory. And then you're there left with a broken heart, right? So you know what I did? After my last heartbreak, I said, I'm going to get to know myself, love myself, not wait on somebody to tell me that they love me. So I purposely was without a boyfriend for maybe like 4 years, 3-4 years. And that was by choice, right? Because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to learn to know me and get to instill certain values, know what I will put up with. And that is what I did, And then my mantra at that time, guys, was this Karen White song that says, I'd rather be alone than unhappy. And to this day, I love that song. Because I'm like, no, I'd rather be alone than unhappy. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who is being unhappy. You're the one who is being heartbroken. You're the one who is not eating. You're the one who is struggling. No, so we need to stop thinking that, well, human beings were brought on this earth to be sociable, yes, right? But not at the expense of our minds, our health, our yeah, we don't need to go crazy. We don't need to go crazy just to sit and, be belittled just to have somebody in our lives. There's nothing wrong with moving on. The next best thing could be right, around the corner. You may think that this person who you're with, who is treating you like garbage, is the end all and be all. And once you stop putting up with the bull crap, and then you meet the next person, it will be like night and day. Alright? And that's how it is with me and my husband now. It's just like night and day. But as long as you make your stance be known, you will let any relationship you're going in, you let your stance be known that you don't stand for disrespect. If a person is unhappy with you, they're free to leave. You're not holding anyone hostage in any relationship. You no longer want to be with me, that's fine. We all have free will. So you can go if you want to go. I'm not holding you. But we need to learn to love ourselves first. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody. Right? And you can't, people will tell you anything, right, when they want to get close to you. So yeah, they may love you, yes, but you have to know yourself, know your worth first before you allow someone else in your life. Okay, ladies? Let me know in the comment section if you agree with me. Please do remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos like these. And see, let me focus more on the road in this lovely weather going to work. Catch you guys. See you on the next one.